Survivors remain angry at Kellen and her position in Epstein's orbit. Democratic Congressman James Walkinshaw of Virginia was just in that room and is stepping out to join us. Thank you so much, Congressman, for being here. Anything that stands out to you so far from this interview? What are you learning from Sarah Kellen?
Well, we've just gotten started, but Ms. Kellen described to us the process by which she was recruited, groomed, and then abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She described, like unfortunately others we've heard from, being raped and abused while Epstein was serving the sentence for the sweetheart deal that he got from Alex Acosta, which allowed him to go on continuing to victimize people. She shared with us, somewhat astoundingly, that until 2019, she was never interviewed, never talked to the FBI or any law enforcement agency, despite the abuse she endured and the knowledge and information she had about Epstein and Maxwell and how they operated. So we've heard some pretty astounding things already in a short period of time.
And as we laid out, Kellen is alleged to be both complicit in Epstein's crimes as well as a victim herself. How do you see it, and how are you approaching the questioning?
Well, I think it is most likely as you described it. That obviously makes this a more sensitive and delicate interview than others that we've had. But at the end of the day, the purpose of our investigation is to get as much information as possible about Epstein, Maxwell, anyone else engaged in or involved in those crimes. Ms. Kellen has some of that information, and we hope to get it today over the course of the interview.
In recent weeks, you and your committee have spoken to a former president and first lady, several close former Epstein employees, billionaires, a correctional officer who was there the night Epstein died, even a current member of Trump's cabinet, Howard Lutnick. Are all of these interviews leading somewhere? At the end of the day, what is the goal of this ongoing probe? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I think our investigation has already revealed the serious shortcomings of the FBI and other law enforcement agencies' work with respect to Epstein. We've talked to key figure after key figure after key figure who was never interviewed by the FBI. So I think we've revealed already that that investigation missed the mark in a lot of ways. Our hope, my hope, is that the Department of Justice or a future Department of Justice will take the information gleaned from our investigation, all of these interviews piece by piece by piece, and reopen some of these investigations that could ultimately lead to prosecutions of others who were involved with Epstein and Maxwell.
Where does your investigation go next after Kellen?
Well, we have obviously Pam Bondi coming in on the 29th, and that's going to be really important for us to understand how and why decisions were made to continue the cover-up and fail to release 2.5 million files that still haven't been released, why illegal redactions were made, and what she knows about the shortcomings of the Department of Justice and the FBI's investigations historically with respect to Epstein. I think that can provide us very valuable information. In my view, the American people deserve to see that interview on video. It's not clear that's going to happen.
I want to ask you about Congressman Massey, who led the Republican effort to get the Epstein files released, and he just lost his re-election bid to a Trump-backed candidate. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene said, quote, "Releasing the Epstein files was our demise." Going forward, are you concerned about bipartisan support for survivors' pursuit of justice?
Absolutely. And look, I disagree with Thomas Massey probably on 99% of things that come before us here in Congress, but he's been dead right about this. And I see the Trump effort to kick him out, basically to throw him out in this Republican primary, spending tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. It's all part of the Epstein cover-up. They didn't like the fact that he voiced support for survivors, for getting the transparency and accountability that they deserve, and Trump and the whole MAGA machine punished him for it. So I do have deep concerns about the future, the bipartisan nature of this work.
And while you're here, Congressman, I need to get your take on this $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. You serve on the Oversight Committee. What's your obligation to look into this? Can Democrats fulfill that oversight without Republican support?
Well, I think every member of Congress, Democrat or Republican, should be outraged about this. They're no longer hiding it. They're flat out trying to steal the hard-earned money of the American taxpayers. Folks are struggling to pay rent, afford groceries, put gas in their car with skyrocketing gas prices, and Trump wants to set up a slush fund to pay off his political cronies. It's absolutely outrageous. We have a lawsuit to block it. We're filing legislation to block it. We're working in the appropriations of budget process to block it. And there are some Republicans who have found the courage to speak out against it. Unfortunately, it's mostly Republicans who are not running for re-election or recently lost primaries. But there is some bipartisan support to prevent this from happening.
Before we go, the Democratic National Committee just released a report about the 2024 election. It came out just 30 minutes ago. I assume you haven't had a chance to read all the way through it. It's almost 200 pages long, and it doesn't give a full picture about why your party lost. In fact, the DNC chair, Ken Martin, was very critical of this report. He even said, when I received the report, it wasn't ready for prime time. He goes on to say, I'm releasing the report as we received it in its entirety, unedited and unabridged. It does not meet my standards, and it won't meet your standards. But he says people need to be able to trust the Democratic Party and trust our words, so he is releasing it for transparency's sake. Congressman, what do you make of them releasing it now? Is this helpful to your party?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I think releasing it is the right decision. Obviously, if what you just described is true and it isn't ready for prime time or didn't meet the needs, that's disappointing. We should have had a report that was fulsome and did describe what went wrong for us in 2024, what lessons we can learn and how we can apply them into the future. But I'll look forward to sitting down and reading the report and judging for myself.
Congressman James Walkinshaw, thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to that interview with Sarah Kellen. Up next, the Lone Star